All right, peace to the planet. You know what it is. A D to the bishop. I'm chilling on the West Coast, and as always, I'm reaching back to my people in the UK. Today, I got the one and only Jonny Grayshon. Met him through some jujitsu friends. Like was it 2 years ago? Maybe something like that. 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
And we hit it off, and we always been like homies. You can't tell from the close picture, but this guy is gigantic. He's a mountain of a human. He's really strong, and he knows how to get fit. So one of the things I notice a lot of guys over 40 struggle with are the practical elements to being and staying fit, right? Whether that's diet, whether that's supplements, whether that's sleep, and what other things. So I really just want to welcome you, Jonny, to the show, and thanks for spending time with us today.
Oh, good, mate. Yeah, good to see you. And thank you for having me on.
So your journey in fitness really starts with rugby, right? You're just a rowdy rugby guy who fought his way up through the ranks. Can you talk about that a little bit? What was your start in rugby and what was kind of your journey? What are the cliff notes of your journey?
So so where I live in the UK, it's a big rugby league area. So rugby league in the UK is only a small section across a strip of the country.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a working class sport, and it's just in the north of England. So my dad used to play. My older brother got into it, and obviously I just naturally started trying it as well when I was about 8.
Right.
And then, that's just what everyone does, all your friends and stuff. So you're just doing that. And then by the time I got to maybe 12, 13, you're starting to represent like your town, your county, your
Mm.
country, playing like representative stuff. And then, so it was going pretty well. And then I ended up signing professionally when I was about 16. Just I left school. As soon as I left school, I knew I had a contract waiting for me. So
How
I
did
said,
that feel? Did that feel
oh,
crazy? Because I mean, like when I was 16, I was just a goof who was like not even dating chicks yet. You know what I mean? Trying and
yeah.
failing regularly. So like that is such a different reality than I had at 16. So like what was that like? And like tell me about that time.
Well, I wasn't terrible at school, but I was never like academic. I never loved it.
Me either.
I
I just look like a nerd. That's the horror. I just look like a nerd. I didn't have the intelligence. It was horrible.
Yeah, so I kind of obviously I loved the idea of being a professional rugby player, but it's not guaranteed. And then it was pretty, you could see how it was going to pan out. So the I went to kind of sixth form, so sixth form college, which is staying on at when you do you have sixth form colleges in
I don't know. What is it?
America? I don't even know if they still do it in this country. I'm not out of touch with it. So basically, the age you can leave school, you'd go and get a job or whatever, or go to outside college, or the
Oh,
school
okay.
school has like an internal college where you can stay. And
Mm,
I knew I was going to get a contract, but I wasn't signing until the next year. So I basically had to plug a year's gap where I was
okay.
doing something. So I stayed on in education and did art
Okay.
just to kind of kill some
Yeah.
time before I went pro. And
Okay.
then I went pro, and then you've got to like earn your stripes, with the reserves and the young guys. And then within about 2 years, I was playing first grade. So by 19, I was playing like regular first team, which was obviously really good.
Yeah.
We were lucky to have an Australian coach who was really fair, and he didn't care about your age or your experience. If you were kind of doing well, he'd give you a chance.
All right. That's
And that
excellent.
was like it's probably the best situation I could have got at the time, because
Yeah.
rather than going with the favorites and the old guys and all that, he was giving all the young guys a fair shot.
Right.
So I stayed at that club for like 5 years,
And what was that team called?
Huddersfield Giants. So where I'm from in Bradford, it's kind of the neighboring town.
Yeah. Shout out to Bradford. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, Bradford massive, and then I won't get into the politics, but the coaching staff changed. I didn't. There was a clash of personalities, and I had to get out of there. So I ended up moving to London
Hmm. How was
through.
that? Because like Leeds is kind of like I don't know how much you've been to America, but in my brain, Leeds is kind of like Lake Tahoe or like Reno, kind of like out there, and like going to London's like going to the big city. It's like going to New York. Like what was that like for you culturally, like as an experience? Were you into it? Did you not like it?
Well, yeah. I mean, I couldn't. I've not been to London much, and the thought of living in the big city, I just couldn't get my head around how you'd commute, and used to driving around on the roads up north, and it's obviously
Yeah.
much quieter and stuff. But in reality, the rugby team is like in the southwest. It's more classed as Surrey, which is
I know.
rural.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
more
yeah,
rural.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's very similar to Leeds. You've got
Yeah,
your
it is.
suburbs
Yes,
and
Surrey
you
is
can
kind
drive
of Leeds
around.
like. Yeah,
It's very green. There's lots of woods everywhere. So it's not you're not actually in the big smoke. You're about 20 minutes out on the overground.
yeah.
So it was similar. And then I stayed down there for 3 years, mainly with Australians.
Mm.
Most of the team was made up with Australians. So then kind of got sick of hanging around with Aussies all the time. And then no offense. And yeah, I think I was just ready to come home.
Yeah.
I enjoyed my time in London. But I was ready to come back, moved back up, signed for another team up north, played for another 3 years. And then around 30 is when I had the kids. And then I started losing interest in the sport, um, and basically decided to get out while I could still walk and my elbow.
Before you took the catastrophic hit.
Yeah. Like I had older friends who were like dragging it out and hanging on, and needing 2 hours prep in the physio room before a game to get strapped together and 18 injections.
Yeah,
It's like, nah. So
yeah.
it was a big mixture of the kids arriving, me kind of growing out of that mentality of young, single, all the young lads were coming through doing all the same thing, going out drinking, being
Yeah.
single, all that stuff. I was in a relationship, kids. I was like over it all. So and I was still fit and healthy and not too injured. So it just it all combined, it was just the right time to get out for me.
That's cool.
So at that point, that's when I started personal training because it just naturally like overlapped with the training and the physical side of it.
No, that's really cool, man. Now, before we get started, what is the name of your fitness company and how can people catch up with you? Because this guy's going to drop a lot of science. You're going to want this info early.
So if you go on Instagram, it's Jonny Grayshon Fitness or just Jonny Grayshon. That's probably the best way to get me.
Yeah.
Or if you want to check out the website, it's Vaxa Fitness, Vaxa Fitness,
Okay.
which is a
Now,
nod to my Scandinavian roots.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, you have this 90-day program that you put people through, and I gotta say, like, I've known a lot of fitness people. I know a lot of healers, and the best healers I've always known have said simply this, like they don't care where the healing idea comes from, they don't care what the methodology is, they only care that they can see that it works. You know what I mean? Like if it works, they're into it. Man, I gotta say, like your program, I've watched people I know and tons of people I haven't get into your program and go from very out of shape, very unfit, very sometimes on the brink of being in danger to incredibly lean, incredibly cut, incredibly, you know what I mean? Um
Hmm.
Healthy, like authentically healthy, whole body fitness. Like how long did it take you to get to that point? And like what is it that you're doing that sets you apart? Because it's great, man.
So when I first started PTing about over 10, 10, 12 years ago, I felt fairly lucky in the respect that I was ready to go into the local gym, and I wasn't charging a lot of money at all because I just wanted to gain experience and work with people. And just by coincidence, my first handful of clients kind of had all different kind of really individual specific illnesses or injuries or
Needs.
something I had to go and learn about.
Yeah.
Um, so I got like this like increased broad spectrum of knowledge with the clients I was working with. Because when you learn PT and like you can learn, strength and fitness coaching and nutrition, but they only teach you like the bare bones most of these courses. So you have to do a lot of, reading yourself and learning. So anyway, I had all these clients, and then I was always interested in more of the like athletic performance side of things, you know, and because I was like 30 back then, I was working with younger guys, 25-year-olds, 30-year-olds who wanted to get in shape. That was like their only goal. So we I naturally went down the path with clients trying to lose body fat and gain muscle. That was just kind of my niche, steered towards that. And then and then when I moved across town to Leeds, I had to start all over again because I moved geographically, it was too far for clients to
Yeah.
come. Start all over again. At this point, it was maybe 5, 6, 7 years later, and I was in a more affluent area, and I started working with slightly older people, and I couldn't get the results that I was getting when I first started. I'm like, I know more than I ever have. Like, why can I not get results like I could before? So before I was working with young guys who were getting shredded, they were going on holiday to Ibiza, looking brilliant, blah blah blah.
Right.
And then I moved across town. I was working with older guys. I was like, why is it, what's
What's
changed?
the gap? What's the gap? Yeah.
And then I realized that when guys get to, maybe mid 30s, 40s, mid 40s, they're usually successful in their own right in terms of job, finances, marriage, kids. They've kind of got a lot more success and evidence of success compared to a younger guy who might be still living at home with not much money. So the older guys, they don't need to almost prove themselves in a way
Yeah.
by gaining success with a six pack because
Yeah.
younger guys don't really have much to show. So they're more motivated to gain quicker success by looking really good. And that was basically what it boiled down to. So then my mindset shifted towards, okay, these guys don't want to get shredded. They want to train. And I was like, this is not great for like job satisfaction, and I'm
Yeah.
just training them, they're getting a bit stronger. But I was still in the mindset of like, why aren't you getting shredded? Like
Yeah.
I want you to look mega.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then I realized it doesn't matter what I want. Like these guys don't want it, so I'm just gonna have to learn to give them what they want.
And like
So
what they like, right? The customer's always right, kind of a thing, right?
yeah, so that was a big shift in my mindset, and then my job satisfaction wasn't as good, um, because I wanted everyone to walk around looking like
Yeah.
super athletes.
Yeah.
Um, but it was they were getting what they wanted from it, and that was fine. So that's why I started that's one of the reasons I started the online coaching because I had my in-person clients who weren't really interested in getting in crazy lean shape. They just wanted to stay a bit fitter and a bit healthier.
Yeah.
And then, so that was fine. But then I was getting my real job satisfaction from the online stuff where younger guys would come in, quick 12 weeks, and, blasting through it and getting in really good shape really quick. And they were going off.
Mm.
And I kind of fell into that because a friend wanted to train with me. He needed some help, but he couldn't commute. So I never planned on being an online coach because
Right.
ironically, I hate technology. I didn't want to sit at a desk, doing check-ins and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But my friend we did it remotely through WhatsApp. I sent him some programs. I did his diet, and he got in really good shape. And then a couple of his friends wanted to do it, so I did the same process. And then a couple of their friends wanted to do it, and within 6 months, I had this online business. I was like, oh well, this is
This
this
is
is
it.
cool. It's not as bad as I thought. They're getting results. It works. So that's how the online grew. So I had my in-person with my slightly older clients, and then I had my online kind of quick fix type clients. And then over the years, within the last 5 years, I've naturally, probably because I've just got a bit older, maybe my messaging, my attitude's changed a little bit. I've naturally attracted guys my own age who kind of want a middle ground. So the successful, the middle aged, they've got kids, they've got a good job,
Right.
but they want to be in better shape. They don't want to be insanely shredded. They're not going to Ibiza to the pool parties
Right,
and all
right.
that. But they appreciate longevity is important, health is important. And around 40, 45 is when they start to switch and think, right,
Yeah.
I need to take things a bit more seriously now. So that's kind of where we're at now.
Okay. Man, it's really cool, man. So, just kind of a lot of your videos are cool because they're like no nonsense perspectives on why people aren't gaining muscle, why people aren't losing fat, why people um get on these uh treadmills of to nowhere, you know what I mean, in terms of their fitness and whatnot, right? And their actual accomplishment. What do you
Mm.
think are some of the main mistakes a lot of men over 40 make when they decide, but they don't know, like, I'm gonna get fit right now. Like, what are some of the mistakes that people are making, and how can they kind of see things more clearly?
I think a big issue is like people want instant gratification, so they'll they need it now, and like Amazon Prime is not helpful for that. If it didn't come 2 hours ago, it's too late. So we're kind of in
Yes.
this, you know what I mean? We're in this like mindset of so everything's like this now, right? And health and fitness is probably the only thing you can't do that with.
Right.
So if you couple that with lots of confusing, conflicting evidence, old-fashioned myths or myths that are still around.
Right.
You've got people wanting an instant result with a lot of confusion, which is never going to get a long-term result, never mind an instant result. And they
Yeah.
just kind of, so they attempt to do it, they do it for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then they fuck it off.
Yeah.
And then they might start again in,
Yeah,
you know,
like 6 months or whatever, or a year, you
yeah.
know.
But
Um,
I think as well, another thing that makes it difficult is definitely like the geographically where in England, and maybe it's probably different. Maybe if you live in California, LA, or whatever, where everyone's in the sun, outdoors, super fit. England, it's not got a massive outdoor lifestyle because of the weather, and there's a big drinking culture.
yeah, yeah,
So it's safety in numbers for a lot of people. It's easier to blend in, right? Because you're
mm,
not gonna you're not gonna get targeted. Nobody's gonna say anything to you. And the
yeah. Look at this
majority,
guy. What's he think?
yeah,
Yeah,
like where you going? Like stop it, get back. Because if you start getting fit and you start looking after yourself, that's gonna make us look even worse.
yeah. So sit
Stop
down and
it.
have another beer, Charlie.
Yeah. Drink, eat, eat this. Um, so I train people who are kind of stuck in this either toxic kind of relationship directly with the partner or with a circle of friends where they like the idea of reducing the drinking and getting fitter, but they just end up getting pulled back in, and it's really frustrating for them. Um, and I do feel for these people. So
Yeah,
to answer
yeah,
the question, I think there's a whole thing mixture of things going on, but it is environment, social circle, not knowing what to do, not knowing what's effective, and then things like little niggly injuries, putting them off, and easy things to make an excuse and say, "Oh, I'm just not going to bother doing it."
yeah. So when it comes specifically to losing fat, what do you think are some of the two top myths and two realities that people should be thinking about?
Oh man, there's loads, but I don't know. What seems to be big myth for nutrition is um, meal timing seems to be a popular one. Like people are obsessed with can I eat at this? Can I eat after 6 p.m.? Can I eat late at
Yeah,
night?
I hear that a lot, like that eating, and the theory has been certain with the circadian rhythm, right? Like with the rhythm of the sun and the moon, and if you get to eat before the sun goes down, that it's easier for your body than if you eat after it gets late. What are your thoughts on that? Is it just caloric intake, and actual nutrients level?
Yeah, so I mean, you don't have daylight saving in America, do you? But you know we
Oh,
have
no,
it.
no, no, we got it. We got
Oh,
it.
do you?
Yeah.
All right. So all right, let's say you can't eat before 6 o'clock
Right, right.
because you get fat. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
what if it's 6:05? What? You find 5 minutes earlier, but not 2 minutes later. So yeah, it's energy balance. So you could pretend. I mean, so we're looking at how you feel and how you perform is a slightly different argument to are you going to lose fat or not.
How you feeling, how you perform versus actual fat loss. Okay.
Okay, so if for example, if you let's say it takes you 2,000 calories or less to lose weight,
Right.
you could eat 2,000 calories from McDonald's and you would lose weight. Now, okay, you've lost weight. Now, are you going to preserve muscle? Are you going to feel good? Is your immune system going to be good? Are you going to be inflamed and your joints going to be sore?
Yeah.
Is your energy going to be good? Productivity, probably not the best. But we said, will you or will you not lose weight? Yes.
Right.
But you're trying to do both, right? You're trying to perform, feel good, have loads of energy, sleep well,
And lose.
maintain or grow muscle mass and lose weight. So that's the balance. So one of the myths would probably be meal timing, people getting stressed out about when do they or do they not eat. And then another one's probably like an obsession about which macronutrient is the right one to eat. Is it high fats? Is it high carbs? Is it no carbs?
Okay.
Does too much protein make you fat? Like all this stuff.
Does it?
But
Does too much protein make you fat?
so too many calories will make you fat,
Period.
right?
Calories.
So protein has got 4 calories per gram. The funny argument for that is, okay, most people will say carbs will make you fat.
Mm,
Too many carbs will make you fat. There's, but those people don't really consider protein making you fat. They just say carbs will make you fat. So if there's 4 calories per gram of carbohydrates, there's also 4 calories per gram of protein. So if carbohydrates make you fat, surely protein would make you fat as well, because it's exactly the same energy density.
right.
But it's completely flawed. The reason people say carbs will make you fat is because they'll notice when they eat carbohydrates, they get weighed and they weigh more.
Mm.
That's because 1 gram of carbohydrates will pull in around 4 grams of water.
I see what you're saying.
So more carbs equals gets stored in your muscle
Right.
along with more water.
Right. Right.
More water, bigger sponge, heavier sponge.
Right.
Get on the scales, you're going to weigh more. But people freak out thinking they put fat on. They eat a pizza, it's full of carbohydrates, it's full of salt,
Right.
both contain water. You get on the scales, you put 2 kilos on, you shit yourself because you think you've just got fat. So there's a difference between putting body weight on and putting body fat on, right?
Mm,
And this
mm.
is where the carbohydrate thing comes. Just like if you slash all carbs out for a week, you might drop 4 kilos,
Yeah, yeah,
10,
yeah.
10 pounds, whatever. Because of the water retention that's gone.
I've been eating I'm definitely not eating keto, but I'm eating very close. You know what I mean? I'm eating very close to keto. Like, it's mainly like this morning I had I made two buffalo burgers with Romano cheese on there, and then I had some eggs, cooked in
Mhm.
butter, and then I
Mhm.
had some fake bacon because I don't eat pork, and
Right.
water. Now that was it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Today is technically my cheat day. I've had to let my cheat day evolve. Years ago, my cheat day was just me eating everything I've been holding back on. So here come the gummy bears, here comes the red vines, here comes, cookies and whatever, whatever. And then later, I was like, that's bad because you're still kind of addicted. You know what I mean? It's like binge drinking, like, oh, I don't drink. And then the weekend comes and you're like, just drinking hella.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah.
all right, gotta chill. So then I kind of turned that into I'll let myself have one or two sweet things on a Friday, right? Because I would mess up. Like I'd buy Oreos on Friday, but let's say I don't eat them all. They're just sitting around on Saturday. I mean, I can't let them. I mean, why should they sit a week? You know what I mean? And so then so that was bad. So then I had to remix it again, and I was like, one thing on that day. So if you get one package of gummy bears, because I could eat three or four, in my prime, one package of gummy bears only, one thing of cookies only, whatever. And then like, cool. But now my cheat day, which is now today, is is to eat like normally I would eat like one meal a day. Like I'll eat it like between my window is between 11 and 12. I'll eat between 11 and 12, and then I won't eat after.
Okay.
On a day like today, I'll eat whatever I want that's healthy all day. So, if I'm eating fruit, if I'm eating, more buffalo burgers, I'm having yogurt with granola in it or whatever, I'll eat it all day, but I won't eat crazy stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I won't eat anything processed.
Concentrate more
Yeah, I won't.
nutrient.
Yeah, nothing processed, whatever. And obviously on these days, I'm taking whatever supplements I want to kind of load up, knowing tomorrow I'll probably only eat once.
So why? I mean, there's no right or wrong way to diet. It's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
whatever suits you long term. But
And I'm guessing here. I don't know nothing. So,
why do you eat one meal a day, and then why do you choose to eat all day long on one day a week?
well, the reason I'm doing one meal a day is because I've always read it was healthy to do that if you're just eating. I mean, if you're drinking lots, if you're staying hydrated, right? So if I'm doing water, tea, or coffee, I'm keeping my caloric intake low. I'm getting my protein. Um, and for me, as someone who's like a hardcore sugar addict, if I do one meal a day, I'm way less likely to unexpectedly binge. Because my
Mhm.
brain's like, you eat between 11 and 12, homie, or 11 to
Mhm.
1. That's your window. Don't play
Yeah.
around. Because if I go, oh, you know what? I will have a couple Doritos. Next thing you know, yeah, bro, you know what? Let me get some more Baja Blast on that Mountain Dew, right? And it's like it gets that way quick. And so for me, it's not so much like is it technically more or less healthy? It's like this is what keeps me from making the excuses and entering the binge zone.
You've got parameters. Yeah. Yeah. That works. Um, so if you look at your calories as a weekly total,
Right.
you can put your calories wherever you want within that week.
Okay. Like it,
So, and then these are the pros and cons. So let's say for argument's sake, you're doing maybe 1,000 calories in that one
yeah.
meal.
Yeah.
So over the week, that would be 7,000 calories.
Right.
And then with your food that you're taking in all day
Yeah.
on what is it, Friday?
Right.
On Friday, you might take in 2,000 calories, two
Yeah.
and a
I'm
half.
saying yeah.
So let's say over the week you've done 10,000 calories, right? So you could, and if you're losing weight, if you do you what's your
I
goal?
am losing weight. Like I'm
Loss
trying to
or
get to
maintain?
195. I'm trying to get to 195. I was around like 212, 213. So now I'm down 203. I'm trying to get
Okay.
to
Okay. So let's say this is working for fat loss. You're on 10,000 calories a week.
yeah.
Now you could do 10,000 calories a day. You could do 1,000 calories every day and then the rest on the Sunday. You could do
Mhm.
3,000, nothing, 2,000, nothing,
Right.
3,000. You
Right.
can
It's just
split it up however you want.
okay.
So which has to fit in with your lifestyle. Like, so what you're saying is saying, I do 1,000 calories a day because I can put parameters on it. I'm not going to overeat. I stick to it. that is what it is for that hour, and then I'm done. So that's
Yep.
cool. And then what would be the risk? What would be the cons to doing that? Well, we need regular protein intake to preserve muscle mass.
Mm.
And if especially if the longer you're in a diet, the more catabolic you're at risk of being, so the more likely you are to waste your own muscle.
Okay. Okay.
The longer the diet goes on. So given that muscle mass and muscle density is a key marker for longevity, the more muscle we can maintain as we get older, the better. The last thing we want to be doing is losing muscle when we
Depleting.
diet.
Depleting. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Oh, the whole reason we eat protein is to get a branched chain amino acid out of it called leucine. And when we eat the leucine, we trigger a response called muscle protein synthesis. And that means we're going to be in more of an anabolic environment, building, repairing
Right.
muscle.
Right.
That trigger, that response lasts about 4 hours. So the cons would be of only eating once. You're not triggering muscle protein synthesis every 4 hours and maximizing your potential to maintain muscle mass.
Right. Because I don't have anything in there. I only ate at 12 or whatever.
So 12's good. You trigger it maybe by 4 o'clock. That's kind of turned off. And then
Damn.
you're just like at risk of kind of, especially if you're not lifting weights, you're at risk of
Yeah.
losing muscle. So the weight that you're losing, it probably is body fat, but how much? Maybe some of it could be muscle. Who
Well,
knows?
it's definitely body fat because my stomach was starting to fucking be in the
Yeah,
bill.
yeah, yeah.
But it because it's getting flatter now. It's time to like look into trying to build some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Yeah. So
And so then what if you're dealing with a guy like me who has a clear sugar addiction, will definitely mess around and just abandon his windows if he you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
how do I increase my what's a good plan for increasing my protein intake without uh risking falling off the whole wagon?
So you could do it two ways. You only actually need around, so you need not to be super geeky, you need zero point 0.4 grams of protein per kilo. So what did you say you were?
203.
Uh, so let's say you're about 90 kilos for
All
easy,
right.
easy,
Okay. Yeah,
easy.
yeah, yeah.
Times that by zero point 0.4. That's going to be around half. Let's just say for easy numbers, it's 40 grams of protein you need.
Right.
Trigger muscle protein synthesis, you need 0.4 grams per kilo body weight. So let's just pretend it's 40 grams of protein.
Yep.
Now, that could be maybe half of your breakfast because once you've triggered it with the 40 grams, it's triggered.
Mm,
It's triggered. So 80 grams won't trigger it anymore.
I
You
see.
If you turn the light on and you push the light switch, the light's on. If you push the light switch as hard as you can, the light doesn't come on anymore,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
It's on. You've done it. Like
right.
get off the. Um, so potentially you could split your breakfast in two,
Mm,
and you could have two feeding windows
okay.
of
So like 12 and 4 or something like that?
5 o'clock. What?
Like 12 and 4?
Yeah,
Okay.
but then again,
Or is that too close?
no, 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 no. That would work. That would be okay. But so that would work potentially. Or you could have your normal feeding window like you are doing, and you might have just because remember we said we wanted the leucine from the protein.
Yeah.
Well, you can get that in like a branched chain amino acid drink or tablet.
All right. I see what you're saying.
So you might supplement that at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Just a supplement drink with your cup of tea or whatever.
All right. Right.
And if you need 40 grams of protein to trigger muscle protein synthesis, you only need 4 grams of leucine.
Right.
So you might do 4 grams at tea time.
Hmm.
And then you're not taking in basically you're not really taking in any calories because there's a few, but there's hardly anything in there in a branched chain amino acid. So you could do it that way. So then you've got to look at the pros and cons. So let's say you're thinking, all right, I'll probably do 2 meals. Well, you might be out of the house at 4 o'clock. You
Yeah.
might be teaching at 4 o'clock.
I'm usually on my way to go teach around 4.
So then it's like, then the logistics start to cause friction.
Okay, so this is my point. You're speaking to something that's big to me right now. A lot of times I want to eat after teaching. I usually get home about 9. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? 8:30, 9 o'clock. And so then I'm always like, it's too late. I don't want to, you know what I mean? Because not only I'm about to eat, I'm about to lay down, right? So I'm
Yep.
not gonna be active. It's not, I walk a lot. I'm, doing this and that and teaching jujitsu or blah blah blah. But like I'm about to eat and lay down. So like lately I've been doing like if I eat, I've been trying not to eat, but now I feel like I should eat because of this whole protein synthesis thing and the fact that I'm going to be sleeping. If I had a quick dump of protein before I laid down, that might help whatever I've been doing all day.
Yep.
But I've been arguing with myself about whether it's okay to eat after jujitsu. I feel like I'm betraying the work I'm trying to do, but it sounds like that might be what I should do.
So, so no, there's nothing wrong with eating. I would be recommending you to eat after jujitsu. Now, let's say you don't feel great digestively,
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
may. So then, well, fats are going to slow down digestion. So there's nothing wrong with eating fats, but it's going to sit in your guts for longer. So you
Right.
might want a low fat meal. You might want that late night meal to be mainly um, protein.
Yeah.
Maybe something light like
Like a
eggs or
protein drink, like a protein water drink.
yeah, that would be digested even quicker, even lighter
Right.
on your stomach.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
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 you
yeah.
might have a shake in the evening.
Right. Okay.
All right. So if you eat, you're not if you're going to be eating twice, you might want to reduce your breakfast, your first meal, in
Okay.
terms of
Right. In terms
because
of
obviously
calories.
if you stick with the same calories for your first meal, and then you're putting in an additional protein meal, more calories, and you're doing that every day, as your weekly calories gone too
Right.
high,
Right.
and
I just doubled them.
you stop losing weight. So you've got to juggle that. Or maybe
Hmm.
you don't go, maybe you adjust the free day on a Friday and you don't go as
Or
nuts.
just turn it off. Yeah. Just stop doing the cheat days. Because my boy was like, just stop doing the cheat days. Period. He said that you shouldn't have a cheat day. It should just be your lifestyle, and you're not. But I'm afraid I'm gonna binge. This is where my discipline comes in. Is that I'm afraid if I don't have a cheat day, one day I'll be like, yeah, it's been 2 years since I've had a gummy bear. Boop, and then I'm on crack, and then they'd be like, have you seen a decent? I don't know where he is, and I'm sitting here with like, all these.
On the ceiling. Oh.
Hey, what's up, guys? So I worry about that because when my discipline is on, bro, it's legit, and I don't want to rock the boat. But I see what you're saying. If I
But I
if
think
if I have protein at night but low calorie, well, but if I did the drink at night and it has like no sugar, it's a sugarless drink or like super low sugar.
just it's just whey protein.
Yeah, yeah. On my cheat days, I just chill and stay standard. Then I probably won't be so close to doubling as I would if I had like a complete second meal at night, right?
I think on a cheat day, I hate saying cheat because it's like you're cheating on something and that's associated.
Yeah,
I call it a free day or a free meal.
3 meals,
Where
right?
it's like it's not tracked.
Hmm.
It's so you're allowing yourself. It's part of the plan. It's built in. It's you're doing it for a reason. It's not
Yeah.
like I don't like to develop like negative associations with food. So
Mhm.
let's say on your free meal on the Friday, are you avoiding carbohydrates altogether on this day, or you
Much,
going?
but I do try to keep the carbs low.
But you go natural, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
fruits.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly, exactly, exactly. As long as it's not processed, right? Like you said.
Yeah, I mean, in reality, it's not going to be tons of calories if you're keeping it all natural, like fruits and stuff. Um, there's still calories in there, and potentially it could send you over. But the only real way to know it would be to track your calories and know exactly how many you're eating a week, and
Mhm.
then fit that into the Friday, and then you know you've got up to 3,000 calories on a Friday to eat, and however you want to eat that, you want to eat that. You might just stick to keep it simple and keep it in terms of your tracking, your parameters. You have
Mhm.
your breakfast and you follow it with a big bowl of fruit and yogurt or whatever it is.
Right,
And
right.
then your protein shake, you have your shake, and that's followed with another thing like rice and sushi.
Mhm.
I don't
I hear what you're saying. Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, man. This is why you're the guy, bro. Because I would never think about anything you just said. I'm that ignorant. I'm coming in blind, just hoping I'm eating right. You know what I mean? And I feel like by and large, I've done okay. But as I'm getting older, I'm 55 now. Like I'm feeling the uh the slowdown of my metabolism. You know what I mean? You know,
Okay.
whether it deals with recovery, right? Whether it deals with recovery or whether it deals with like, oh, I used to do X amount for so long and I would lose weight and I'm not losing that weight nearly as fast anymore. You know what I mean? Because my
Yeah.
body's not burning like it used to burn. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, people say like my metabolism slowed down. The thing is, I think we just slow down.
Mm,
So we don't do what we used to do when we were younger, and we
that's
don't.
true. I was playing tennis like twice a day. I lived on a mountain, so like I was always going up and down this really
Yeah,
steep.
yeah, exactly. Like if you've got bad knees, you might
Yeah.
be resting more.
I used to jump
So
rope, you know what I'm saying, all the
yeah,
time.
so this is why. So um, three or four of the main things that affect metabolism are your how much you move. So you need so non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is basically moving around more. Moving around burns calories, and we don't
Right.
move as much when we get older. So we move less, especially if you're dieting. When you're
Mhm.
dieting, your energy reserves are low, so your body's going to slow you down. People even blink less when they're dieting.
That's interesting.
Talk slower in an extreme deficit. The bodies will do everything it can to
Trying to
conserve
preserve.
energy. So you're not burning as many calories. Another thing is you're losing weight, so your body's smaller. So it burns less calories at rest. Your resting metabolic rate doesn't burn as many calories because it's smaller. I will burn more calories than you're burning right now, sat, because I'm bigger. It's just a
Right.
big engine. There's more going on.
Right. It's gotta move more blood and you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So by default, you're shrinking, you're burning less calories. You're eating less. So the thermic effect of food, when we eat food, we use some of that food we've eaten as energy to digest the food.
Mhm.
It's called the thermic effect of food. And because you're dieting, you're eating less food. So the thermic effect of food has gone down as well.
That's right.
So all these things, there's also metabolic adaptation, which means your body gets smart, gets in tune to reacting to what you're doing. So at first, your body won't burn as many calories doing normal jobs it has always done, burning normal calories. It tries to somehow slow it down. So
Mm.
those four things, so it's called metabolic adaptation, and that's why basically it gets harder to burn more calories as you diet for all those
I
reasons. Now,
get you.
you could easily counter that by just moving more, but
Right.
when you're on a diet, it's hard to move more because you might be tired.
Because you're trying to chill. Yeah.
I'm not going to do 6 rounds of rolling tonight. I'm just going to do two.
Yeah. That's
So
real.
this is why walking is an easy kind of compromise because you don't have to mentally get up for it. It's not like a big
Right. It's
hit.
not a whole thing. It's not a yeah.
Yeah, it's quite good for your mindset, your mentality, your clarity. It's you get some fresh air. Just
Yeah.
going for a 30-minute walk a day could be enough to tip that balance of calorie burn.
All right. Nah, dude, I think you're right. I'm gonna jump on that, bro. Now, the final thing I want to talk to you about is always super controversial, and I know you got a business, and I don't want to like want you to say anything that'll get you in trouble, but what are your thoughts on the two biggest trends I see in the jujitsu world? Because one thing I think people don't give jujitsu enough credit for is changing the way they look at how they eat. right? Because they have this book, the Gracie diet. And I remember years ago when I met Jorge and Gracie and Elio, they were talking about the Gracie diet, you know what I mean? Which is basically like a thing around acidity. Like the diet's kind of based around like the acidity of different meats and fruits and kind of how they have, groupings due to acidity, whatever. And I was like, wow, that's really crazy. And but even beyond the Gracie diet, just the idea that especially even if you intend to compete as an amateur, just having fun doing it as a dad or whatever, right? You're going to change the way you eat. You're going to work out a little different. You're going to, and I think that people don't think about as jujitsu has like grown, how much it's helped make men think more deliberately about their health. Because I think
Mm.
like if you weren't like an actually like young athlete like yourself, that once you don't go pro at whatever you used to play, you just kind of feel out to pasture after about 35 and you just kind of slowly deteriorate. But guys getting into jujitsu, especially if they think about competing, they're like, oh yeah, I should probably cut down on the cake. Oh yeah, I should drink a little less. And I think like that's a cool byproduct of jujitsu's impact. But like with
Mhm.
you, like you get people ready for all kinds of different competitions, whether it's like Ironman type stuff, jujitsu type stuff, jogging and other CrossFit type things and stuff like that. So like if you were me and I'm at 203 and my goal is 195,
Mhm.
what would you tell me to do?
So we need some set parameters we can some measurables. So
Uh,
when something does or doesn't happen, this is where people go wrong. When something does or doesn't happen, we know kind of what we can change because it's kind of measured. So
mhm.
I'm talking to, so the easiest way to lose weight is to get your food right.
Right.
Most people, most dads are busy at work, they're sat down at the desk, they're commuting to work, they've got to deal with the kids at home, then they've got to see the missus. They might have a little bit of time for socializing. If they're doing jujitsu, that's already a given. They don't have loads of time to then go to the gym, do loads of training every week. Most guys might get 2 or 3 hours extra training in a week, and that's all they can do.
Totally. That's true.
So it's easier to control your food than it is to try and exercise. You can reduce calories a lot quicker with food rather than increasing output
Right.
if you don't have time. So we would it's tracking food is the most quickest effective way to do it. It would be like trying to
Got it down.
save money.
I
It
got
would be
it.
like trying to manage finances and just guessing at what you earn and guessing at what you spend and hoping your bank account increases.
About okay.
Yeah, you can kind of do it, but not for long, not for all the time. Yeah.
So real.
So getting people to track food, not only does it increase the knowledge quite quickly of lots of different foods, because they might eat things like, for example, an avocado and say, I always eat healthy. I eat, an avocado a day. Well, that could be 300 calories that they didn't even realize. Uh,
Mm,
so or nuts, I always eat salmon. The things where the high fats are, where people don't realize, but because it's a healthy food, they can't understand why they're not losing weight.
I
So tracking your food for a full week, and then most guys can lose around a kilo a week, so a couple of pounds a week
yeah.
if they're doing it properly. So, you've got a set amount of output, which is 2 jiu-jitsu sessions a week, one
Right.
walk, one weightlifting session, whatever it is, it's set. It's
Right.
this. And then your input, so you can only ever manipulate the energy balance through energy coming in, food and drink, and energy going out, which
Right.
is how much you move. So if you know how much energy is going out roughly, and you know how much energy is coming in, and did you lose weight? Yes. Okay. Well, maybe you keep it the same. Did you lose weight? No. Okay. Well, let's change something. We
Mm,
either eat less food or we either move more.
Earn more.
So then it's a discussion of, well, what's easiest? Do you want to eat less food or can you move more?
Right.
And they might be like, yeah, I'm going to start walking to the office because I can do that. Cool. Keep your food the
Right.
same because no one wants to eat. So keep your food the same. Start walking to the office. Did you lose weight this week? Yes. Okay, do it again. Eventually, you'll
Right,
plateau.
right.
When the energy balance equals itself out, when your body shrunk and it's not burning as many calories, then you plateau. So then
Right.
you have to change something again.
I get it.
So do you want to, that's the question. Do you want to eat less or do you want to move more? But if you know what you're tracking, you don't have to be crazy. You don't have to be like, okay, I'm eating 2,000 calories. So now I'm going to eat 1,000 calories. Just like literally 5% difference could be enough to tip the scales.
To cut it down, yeah,
So
to get
knock 100 calories off, which, yeah,
yeah,
so like that banana you have after lunch, stop eating it.
right.
And
And
that could be it.
good. I love
So um it's
it.
it's it's a very easy concept, but it's not easy to implement because of all the distractions and
Right, right.
you've
And the false expectations, right? That shouldn't be there and things like that, like the overnightness of it and things
mm,
like that. Now, before
yeah,
we
or you're doing really well. You know, you're smashing it all week. You've done exactly as you should have done, and then you get to Friday night, and your mate's like, "Do you want to come to the bar?" And you're like, "Yeah, fuck it, let's go." And then you go and drink 10 pints, and you're like, "Fuck."
totally. Yeah, no, no, no. That's me, but with gummy bears. You know what I'm saying? And with cookies, man. Like that's how I fall off. Now, uh,
Yeah.
so I mentioned that whole thing. I distracted my own self in my rant, which happens far too often. Um, I
Mhm.
I meant to mention the thing about jujitsu and health to lean us into this situation around the two biggest trends that I've seen in the last 3 to 5 years has been um, a lot of middle-aged dudes taking TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, and a lot of dudes taking peptides. And I don't know how
Mhm.
much you can or cannot
Mhm.
talk about what you think about that stuff because you know I I'm not for it or against it. I used to be like whatever, then
Yep.
I felt like I was against it, then I feel like I was for it. Now I feel like
It's
I'm in the
cool.
middle. Now I'm in the middle. Like can you tell me like what your thoughts about its value are and then what your
So,
thoughts about its risks?
so if we look at like drugs in sport, if because I don't know what federations in jiu-jitsu specifically test, don't test, allow it,
I
don't
don't think
allow it. I
any of
don't
them do.
I
I
don't know
think the
all that
new
stuff.
UFC one does. I think the new UFC has its own grappling thing now. I think they will not let
Yeah,
you because I think Gordon Ryan is banned. I think Gordon
saw
Ryan
that.
is banned, right?
Yeah.
But I think most don't. I think most don't. And jiu-jitsu has had a problem with steroids from the beginning. When I was young, 1997, 98. I would hear about dudes in Brazil sometimes taking dog steroids, steroids straight up, regular for humans, or horse steroids. You know what I mean? Um,
Okay. Yeah.
back in the day, right? Um, and so it's always been a part. And I remember years ago in a gi tournament, I don't think it was IBJJF. I don't really remember. It was so long ago. A guy had a heart attack on the mat, and it turned out he was a roid guy, right? I remember that like I don't even know if I was a blue belt yet when that story happened. You know what I mean? This was like back in the day. And so um, and then you got to remember, so for me, I'm 55. I come from like you may not remember a guy named John Matuzak. I think he was an Oakland Raider. He was just this big cloud, and then he has a heart attack, goes out, whatever. So and I remember like the Olympic scandals of the 80s, whatever, between Russia and whatever. So I think I've always been accultured to feeling like that anything with testosterone type stuff is a bad thing. And I recognize that probably just like marijuana or mushrooms, there's just a lot of negative stuff about it, but then some authentic goods. So like
Yeah. So with sport, where it's governed and you can or cannot take, oh no, no, they won't say you can. If you cannot take steroids, if that's the rule, steroids are banned, then yeah, it's cheating. If anyone takes steroids, they're going against the rule and you're cheating. But my problem with it is what you get like in the streets. If you see a guy in the gym and he's taking steroids and he's as many steroids as he wants, whether it's healthy or not, that's a different question.
all right, right.
But let's say he's smashing steroids or on the mats and he's smashing steroids, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's cheating." Well, who? If it's a open playing field. Who is he cheating?
Yeah,
Because you can take him. You just don't wanna. There's no rule to say you can't take him because
it's
everybody
true.
can take him. So I
It's
think
true.
in sport, yeah, it should be if it's governed no steroids, which most sports are, then that should be the rule. But
Yeah,
the issue is the testing's not strict enough. So then you do get people slipping through the net who are
right.
cheating, they're winning, and then everyone's getting pissed off. You know, it happened in rugby. They'd protect the all stars, and people would be saying these guys are on steroids. Everyone's got
Yeah,
massive foreheads, the hands are like huge, and they're tearing up their game, and then it leads to frustration. So, in terms of sport and steroids, either ban it and have super strict, legit doctors and laws and investigations where
enforcement.
nobody
Yeah,
can
yeah,
do with anything, and regardless of how famous they are, they made an example of,
yep.
or just make it an open playing field and anyone can do whatever they want. Um,
I like it.
when it comes to TRT, that's different because it's not really. Although well, yeah, technically is you are taking steroids, but all you're doing that's medicated, and you're being monitored by a doctor, and all you're doing is raising your natural levels to the best that they can be before it comes to a level that becomes dangerous.
Right.
So as a male, maybe for your age group, let's just say for easy numbers, and this won't mean anything to you, but the number or the range of your testosterone levels for your age, it might be 26. Let's just say it's 26 on the scale. So you being like optimum in terms of total health, really, really maximum testosterone levels for your age, let's say it should be 26.
Right.
And let's say if you get your bloods tested, it might be 17
Right.
or 10 or
Yeah, yeah.
whatever. Not optimum. So then if you wanted to address that, you could. And then you go to a doctor and he'd look at your levels and he'd say, okay, it's okay, but if you want to feel better than just okay, let's get you feeling as good as possible. So then they'll get your testosterone up to as high as they can within range before it goes too high.
Oh man, your signal's choppy, bro. No, no. Hashtag sadness, bros. We are expect we're experiencing a technical difficulty. Please bear with us, and the Bishop Chronicles will return shortly. Come on, come on, Johnny. Come on, Johnny. That sounds hilarious. Um, how do I get rid of Johnny so he comes back? He's gone. I didn't have to get rid of him. All right. So loving this guy, Johnny Grayshon, huh? This guy's hilarious, by the way. I also want to talk to him about alcohol intake. Hopefully he comes back in a second. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, it's funny because I didn't think about doing this deliberately, you know what I mean, in terms of like just trying to get an assessment of how I'm living. But I really like I am a health advocate type dude, but this is why I'm the anti-guru. Oh, here he goes. Booyah. Yeah, homie. I don't know what happened. It's all good though.
Yeah, no worries. So it's just like HRT. Most middle-aged guys will probably have a wife who is taking HRT
Right.
to balance out the hormones and assist with how they feel and all that. Yet when guys look at taking it, everybody loses their mind because they think they're
I
taking.
think that's totally fair, man. I think that's totally fair. And like it's so funny because I remember it feels like in the mid to late 80s, you would hear about men having a midlife crisis. And I think
Mm,
that's all it really was, right? Like a dude's hormones starting to waffle a bit. He's not working out. He's locked into his job. It's 1989. Shit's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it completely makes sense, right? Just like how women when they hit menopause and everything that comes with that. So I think that's all fine. For me personally, and I know lots of people who do TRT and they all look amazing. And if I can't lie, I wish that I had bodies like theirs look. I'm not gonna lie, it looks amazing. The reason I don't do it personally is because I had a colonoscopy and there was a precancerous polyp in there, and I was always told that if you take testosterone and you have tumors or whatever, that testosterone can help advance the growth and or some kind of way feed the tumor. So it's like, my grandmother died at around 64, 65 of colon cancer. So because I have this had this polyp and they removed it immediately, it didn't turn into anything. I've had like zero treatments or whatever. I'm late for my next colonoscopy. But my theory was, well, dang, if I take it, I may grow it. Or if I have that one polyp, what if there's another unknown polyp somewhere and I don't want to feed it? So that's the only reason I don't do it.
That's fair enough. But you might want to get a second opinion on that because they used to say that about breast cancer, and they used to say if there's a history of breast cancer in a woman's family, then she shouldn't really take HRT.
Hmm.
But now what they're saying is the amount of women that get breast cancer on HRT is not much different to the amount of women that get breast cancer without
Period.
HRT. So
Ah,
the correlations are being a little bit flawed. So maybe that's old science or old
yeah.
data,
Damn.
but I'm not a doctor, so you might have.
No, I feel it. I totally feel it. I do. I
I
respect that.
mean, this is why you get your bloods done, right? Because whenever if so, I do TRT. I take TRT. I've been taking it about 3 years,
Yeah.
and the reason I took TRT is because I'd get a mad midday slump. I'd be exhausted. I need to sleep. My motivation would be
Yeah.
rubbish. Just, I just wasn't interested in anything. And then because I was doing a lot of jujitsu, I thought maybe it'll help my recovery as well and stuff like this. And anyway, I went down the right route with a clinic where you're getting your bloods checked
Yeah.
every
This stuff
three
is
months.
regular.
You're getting a doctor to monitor everything. He knows what he's looking for in your bloods, and this is the
Yeah.
whole point, right? It's to check if there's any red flags popping up.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even if you weren't going to do TRT, you'd probably want to get your bloods done every 6 months anyway, because it's going to flag up anything suspicious.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. That's real.
Yeah.
Damn, homie. And peptides. Thoughts on peptides?
So my knowledge on peptides is not. When you said peptides, are you meaning like
These
steroids?
little injections of peptides are like proteins or something that people will like inject into like their knee or their shoulder and it helps. It's not stem cells. It's not stem cells.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. It's a little bit like the
designed.
BPC
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
five.
that's what it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm hearing really good things about it. And I've been reluctant, but I think your boy's about to try to rock with some peptides for the legs, bro. And just work on a strength and conditioning thing for the legs and then add peptides, you know what I'm saying?
So they were shouting about it at jiu-jitsu loads at my academy, and I
Yeah,
thought it was
man.
too good to be true. But I did try the tablet version, the oral version,
Yeah, yeah.
and because I had this sprained wrist that I just couldn't shake off for months. I couldn't do the warm up. I couldn't do
All
press
right.
ups. It
Yeah.
was like really, really painful. And I thought, all right, well, one of the boys was a surgeon. Do you know Dell? Dell,
Yeah,
you remember
yeah,
Dell?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So Dell looked into it, and he's a surgeon. He couldn't find any problems. Now he did say because it is basically improves your blood flow from your gut, it could potentially feed a growth because it improves blood flow. So
Oh,
that's
so
what
it
it
would
did.
feed like it's feeding everything, it too will get fed. Yeah, 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 yeah.
So what it does is it works because it sends blood to the connective tissue where there's
Right,
low blood supply, so
right,
tendons, ligaments.
right.
So for me, it worked. Like my wrist was feeling better within a week, and I was like, this must be a coincidence. And then within 2 weeks, completely healed. But I know clients that have tried it for the
Yeah,
shoulders and it's worked. So
yeah,
I
it's
don't
it's,
know.
it's a mixed bag. Okay. Well, cool, man. Listen, bro. I wish I was out there, bro. some of our conversations and days, like that one time we had lunch and were we in Boston Spa? So you know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
when you were, yeah, yeah, yeah.
bro, I miss those times, bro. I miss being over at Jack's barbershop on Street Lane and talking crazy, sitting in front of Rand. You know what I'm saying? I miss that a lot. I miss that a lot, man. I should be out there during the holidays though, hopefully.
What for Christmas?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, definitely. Let's hook up when you're back
Yeah,
across.
yeah. And we're always at that house. You know that house that's not far from where you live. Remember? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So we'll kick it. We'll kick it,
hook
God.
up. Sure, definitely.
Give the family my best, give all the jujitsu bros my best, and remind everybody where they can get a hold of you. And thank you for your wisdom.
Okay, so guys, if you want to check out my Instagram, just Jonny Grayshon, JonnyGrayshon, Jonny Grayshon on Instagram. Anyone that needs any help, just drop me a message.
Man, he's one of my favorite people in fitness, for real, for real. And he's funny as hell. I just didn't want to get him started on this podcast because
We'll keep it PG.
I got to. I got to. Oh my gosh. If you heard the things he was suggesting before this podcast, it's insane. And I'm so glad I wasn't recording. But you guys have a blessed one. If you know a guy who's thinking about working out, if you know a guy who's struggling with weight loss, if you know a guy who is just kind of maybe they're going through a divorce, maybe they're going through a job loss and they're trying to like um rediscover their fitness, man, send them this podcast. This is the type of stuff that I want people to hear. This is the type of stuff that, and a lot of times you don't know the guys that are struggling. I can't tell you how many times I'll make a podcast and somebody I've known for a long time, but maybe I don't talk to them that often. They'll be like, yo, man, that podcast was real, bro. I'm going through that right now. You're like, what? Like, you don't know what a lot of guys are going through. So please pass it on. All right. Follow at Bishop Chronicles. It's always good to holler at Scott. If you got a question, hit me up. You know what I'm saying? We'll break it down. And then check out some of the last 2 or 3 episodes. I've had some incredible guests and we've had some incredibly powerful discussions about health, fitness, and philosophy. All right. You have a blessed one, and we're out. Peace.
Hey, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.